Hey everyone, welcome to my stream. Today we are going to be doing some more double crochet. We are going to crochet in the round today. So we're going to be doing increases and decreases. We're going to crochet in the round, and then I've got a special bonus. I'm going to teach you guys how to make water balloons. So this is actually a balloon that's made using double crochet and single crochet. The single crochet is just this little bit here at the end. Everything else is double. But it uses a special yarn. It's baby blanket yarn. And what that does is it soaks up the water quite a bit. And but it doesn't drip too much. So you can actually throw it and it doesn't hurt that bad. You know, like it just feels like a regular water balloon hitting you. But they're reusable and they're washable. And it's fantastic. So you don't, throw more plastic away. So, and all you have to do is get it wet. That's it. So I'm going to show you guys how to make these later. I got a brand new thing of yarn here. So I just got the Super Saver, which is 100% acrylic, because I want to, at some point, I want to show you what the cool stuff you can do with acrylic yarn. So acrylic yarn feels like very stiff and oh, I didn't turn my phone on silent, so it's notifying me of my own stream. That's always fun. Thank you. But the pure acrylic yarn, you can do some cool stuff with it. Once you wash it, it actually performs a little bit better, like it feels a little silkier, because this actually has like a kind of a sizing on it to keep it from fraying, and that is what makes it more stiff. So okay, so I've got this. Now I already got out my hook, but if you want to check, this has a really nice sized information here. So I wanted to go ahead and use it and show you. So if you look, it shows you the size of the yarn, which is a 4. So it's medium or worsted weight. It shows you the size hook or needles you would need if you were going to knit, but since we're crocheting, so it says to use a 5.5 millimeter, which is letter I in American. It also gives us, it went a little blurry. It also gives us, this says 12 single crochets, 15 rows. What that should give you, if you use normal medium tension with this size, that should give you a 4 inch by 4 inch or 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter square. And so they're telling you that 12 across would be the same as 4 inches. So that's with this yarn. Now different yarns, of course, are going to have different instructions on the back. You'll see a lot of, like, the thicker yarn is going to be 5 or 6. This, I believe, is a 6. But that's where you look. So you look, I always look for this first. It shows a skein with a number in it. Oops, rolled away. Skein with a number in it. That's what I look for first, and that's usually where the rest of the information is, the washing information and everything. Notice that this says not to iron. That's one of the tricks. Is actually using an iron, but you got to be careful. You got to do it right. Anyway, okay. So I've been sticking my fingers in the ends here, but this did actually have a little end that was sticking out because luckily Red Heart is pretty cool. Here it is. Red Heart's pretty cool about getting it started for you where you're not having to dig around inside and try to find it. So let's go ahead and get some started. So we're going to start, oops, yep, pulled a nice big chunk out. I also wanted to get a nice medium color that wasn't wool, because that gray color that I was using last week was wool, and it's hot. I'm in Florida. I don't want to be using wool, So there's that. All right. So what we're going to do 2 things. First, I want to talk about increases and decreases. So I'm making my slip knot just as a reminder. You make an X, whichever side's on top, loop, go up underneath that hole and pull it through, and then grab your 2 ends and pull. That's your slip knot. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do increases and decreases first. So let's just go ahead and get, and this will also be a refresher of the double crochet from last week. So, and then we'll do our in the round. Well, let's just go ahead and do in the round. All right, there's two ways to do this. So I'm going to show you the first way, which I think is the easier way, but not as cool. So what you do is you do 1, 2, 3, 4. So you do 4, and you're going to go back into your original hole, the one right up next to the slip knot. You're going to yarn over and pull through both holes. So that is called a slip stitch because you're just slipping it through both. You're not making any kind of loops. Now, this gives you your starting loop. So there's a couple things you can do here. You can actually start crocheting directly into the middle hole, or you can go into one of your stitches. It is up to you. But remember that with double crochet, you yarn over. I'm going to go into the hole. So you bring it up, and now you've got 2 on there. Yarn over, bring it through, and you've got 1 double crochet. So what you want to do is you want to go around 8 times. So yarn over, go through. This is number 2. This is number 3. Yarn over, go through the hole, bring it back through. Yarn over again, bring it through 2. Yarn over again, bring it through the rest of them. That's what we're doing. That was 4. Now you're going to notice something. See this tail here? I'm letting it just go underneath. That is called carrying the yarn, and you can do this with colors. So like if I'm changing colors, and I'll show you guys that when we come to color changing lesson. But that's really handy where I'm just going right over it. I'm pretending like that it's part of what I'm crocheting over. And that actually helps. So now it's like hiding itself inside of this. So that way, that saves me some time later that I don't have to try to stitch that in. I don't have to like weave it in. Okay, I messed up there. I went through the middle of the yarn, so I grabbed a little bit. All right, now I'm going to count how many I got off on my count. So I'm going to count how many I have. So we've got, for me, double crochet is easier to count the posts. So this thing here, right there, that's called the post. These are called the stitches, like on top. So this is the post. Well, actually, technically, these are called the loops. So you've got your front loop and your back loop. But also, I just call them my stitches. But I count the post because that makes it easier. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so I've got 8 on there. So what I'm going to do is I want to join these. So I'm going to go into the that first double crochet that I did. I'm going to go into that, and I'm going to do a slip stitch. So I'm just going to pull through one, pull through the next, and that joins the 2 of them together. All right, now this guy is annoying. So I could continue. I could probably just cut it at this point. But I'm not going to because I want to show you guys the other way. So I'm going to actually undo this. And I'm going to show you, and you can undo yours if you want. I'm going to show you the other way. This is called the magic ring. And you will see a lot of people, a lot of patterns will refer to the magic ring. We're not making a slip knot. So I just want to make sure you understand that we're not doing a slip knot. This is different. So a lot of people refer to the magic ring in patterns, and so that is what this is. So you're going to take it with the yarn pointing down on your finger, and you're going to wrap it around your finger twice. Well, I guess it's technically just once, but it's going to have 2 on there because of the fact that this is. And I'm going to make this a little longer, my tail. Okay. Then you're going to slide your hook underneath with it still on your finger. And you can take your finger out now. Oops, sorry. I messed up. No, I didn't mess up. Sorry. I didn't mess up. Let's start over. Okay. So I'm confusing myself. So you start with it coming down on your finger, loop around once, slide under, and we're going to do a single crochet. Well, actually, it's really just a foundation, a chain stitch. So we pull that through. Now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, 2, 3. Then yarn over, and now we're just going to go into our hole. So we'll do 1. We're still going to do 8. This is important. You still want to do 8, multiples of 8. 2. Now this time we're going to do 1 less, and I'll show you why. 7, because that first chain 3 counts. That counts as a post there. I probably should have started with a little bit longer of a tail. Let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, 3 more. 2. Last one. Okay. So I should have 8 on here, counting that very first one. Okay. Now watch this. You take this and pull it, and it pulls it tight. So now you don't have that hole in the middle. Because remember before we had a little hole. And in fact, let's see, I've got a couple that I did before on Cinco de Mayo when we did the drunk stream. You can see that there is a hole in the middle. You can see that hole there. So if you don't want a hole, you do your magic ring and you can pull it as tight as you want. Now we still need to join. So we need to find the third one. 1, 2, 3, the third chain. Go through it. I'm going to pull that through that one, and then we're going to pull it through. Oops, I'm struggling here. Pull it through again. And that pulls that closed. So that's the difference. All right, just to show you one more time, because I was a little confused. I confused myself at the beginning. I'm going to start over. I'm going to give myself a longer tail this time so I have more to pull. So you want to start with it coming on the inside of your hand. Wrap twice, or once rather. Go through. Oops. And go ahead and make a chain stitch. So basically just pull through. Then go 1, 2, 3. And that's actually locked in there now because we just crocheted around that. So it's actually locked in that this won't come apart. Up until you do that, it can still come apart. All right, and then I'm just going to double crochet 7 more. 1, 2, 3, Oh man, this yarn is being wanky. That's not cool. I don't even remember what number I was on. What number was I on? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more, 8. All right. I'm going to go ahead and join these first before doing the magic bit. I might pull it a little bit closer. But just so you can see how cool it is. So I go 1, 2, 3, go into your top one, your top chain stitch. Pull through the first, pull through the second. And then, so you see I've got this big hole here in the middle. You just pull it tight. Like that. Voila! It's very exciting. Okay. All right, so now let's go ahead and move on. So here's the thing. Remember that chain 3? We're going to do it again. So we do 1, 2, 3. Now, next week we're doing filet crochet, and I'm going to be teaching you how to do what's called a standing double crochet, which is where you don't chain, you actually make a double crochet from scratch, and I'll show you how to do that next week. But this week we're just going to do our chain 3, and that counts as a double crochet. Okay, what we need to do now, we've got 8. We need to double that. We need 16, and this is going to make it so that it exponentially goes out. We're going to increase by 1 each time, so I'll show you how to do that. So I've got 3 on here. I'm going to go ahead and go back into the exact same hole and pull my second double crochet. Okay, so I've got 2 going from that same hole. All right, now I'm going to go into the next one. Do 1, and then I'm going to do a second one right in that hole. And this is called the increase. Going into the next one, this is number 1 and number 2 in the same hole. All right. So you see what's happening is I'm doubling. So I've only gone 3, but I've got 6 stitches. So let's keep going around. We'll end up with 16, so we're on number 4. Oops. All right, let's see. I'm not real happy about this yarn. It's being a little bit wonky. I try to be kind of loose with my stitches because you are increasing, and so otherwise it's going to start turning in. Mine's already doing that. It's starting to cup in. See? That's because I'm just being too tight. I need to be looser. Flux. Hey, awesome. Perfect. That's great. Well, crochet is very meditative, and I've found that it's actually more meditative to watch people crochet even than doing it myself. So hopefully you get some good vibes from watching me crochet. Thank you for joining. Okay, so we've done 2 in here. We're going to do 2 more. And let's see where we are. I think I have at least 1 more to do, but I'm going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right, so I have 2 more. So, awesome. Well, I am glad to provide. Okay, So we've got 16 on here. We're going to join. So we do the exact same thing we did before. We count 1, 2, 3 to get to the top foundation, chain stitch, and pull it through both loops. And that pulls them together. That pulls everything together. So you should have a little dial, little radius. Choop, choop. And you should be able to see. See, I've got my tail hanging out here. I'm going to just cut this a little bit. Let's see. I think actually, I don't want to cut it too much. You do. Here's the thing with the magic magic circle. You do want to weave in the ends. So yeah. All right. So you want to leave a little bit so that we can weave that in. Because remember, there was no knot at the beginning, and you wouldn't want that to loosen. All right. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Now this time, we're not going to do a double crochet in the same one because we're only increasing by 1 each time. So last time we increased by 1, but that happened to double it. This time, we're increasing by 1, but it's going to be 3 from the original. So instead of 16, we're going to end up with 24. Okay, so I'm not going to go back into the same one. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next one and do 1, 2 in the same hole. So I should have, so every 2 crochets, I should have 3 stitches now. So let's do 1 in this one. And then in the next one, I'm going to do 2 of them. So now I should have 6. Now, you can tell what number you should be on because you've got your first row is this very center piece. Your second row, you can just count up, and this is the third row. So this should be 2 times 3 or 1 times 3. It's just times 3 because it's your third row. So if for every 1 stitch, or for, wait a minute, I'm confusing myself. For every 2 stitches, you should have 3. So now I have 4 stitches, so I have 6. I'm going to get myself off in the math. I know it. Okay. So continue. We'll go 1 into the next one. And then we're going to skip. Well, not skip, but we're not going to do another one in there. We're going to go on to the next one and do 2 in that one. Hopefully this is making sense. We'll do this one more time. Oops. Oh yeah. I was in the right hole. It seemed like I was in the wrong hole. Okay, so 1, go on to the next one, do 2. Now Flux, I'm doing a stream tonight. It's going to be probably too late your time because it will be in the early morning. It is 9 p.m. my time, which is Pacific. So let's see, that is Greenwich Mean Time -7. So 9 p.m., that would put it at 4 in the morning Greenwich. So I don't know what that is for you, but probably close to that. So a little bit early, but I am doing a mindfulness, a guided meditation tonight. Yeah, 4. All right, well, yeah, probably a bit early. or late, depending on your schedule. But yeah, but you can always watch the VOD if you're interested. I have like some peaceful music that I play during the meditation, and you know, they're not very long, 5 to 10 minutes. But yeah, that's my new thing. Tuesday nights are guided meditations. Thursday nights at the same time are restorative yoga. So I just thought that during this whole stressful time of being at home and not being able to do very much, I thought that maybe we could use a little bit of stress release in our lives. All right, so I'm almost round. Okay, so we should be at the end. I'm going to count just to make sure. And I don't normally do all of the counting and everything, but for the first few rows, I usually do 1, 2. Let's see, I can count by twos. How about that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I got myself off. I'm counting by ones, apparently. I can't count by twos. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Excellent. 24 is what we wanted. So I'm going to join these. Count 1, 2, 3. To the top. And there we go. All right, I'm going to do this one more time so you get the hang of the counting. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And notice that my circle is coming in a bit. It's actually like becoming kind of concave there. That's okay. That's just because my tension's a little bit tight, which is normal for me. I tend to have a little bit tighter tension. All right, so this time we're increasing by 1. So now, what row are we starting? 1, 2, 3, 4. We're starting row 4, so we're going to have 4. So every 3 stitches we're going to have 4 new ones. All right, so this first one counts as 1. We'll go into the second one and only do 1. Then in the third one, we're going to do 2. So that way, every 3 we have 4 because we are on row 4. All right, so go into the first one. Go into the second one, and the third one will be 2. All right. Now what we're going for is it's going to be 32. Right? We're going up 8. Go into the first one, go into the second one, and then 3 is going to have 2 of them. Go into the first, go into the second, and number 3 has 2. Now I'm going to give myself a little bit more tension by pulling the yarn out. You don't want it to get too tight, or it starts to really increase your tension. 1, 2, 3 and 4 is in the same hole. One, 2, 3 and 4 are in the same. We're getting there. We are almost there. Okay. We have one last group to do. We go 1. We go 2. We do 3 and 4 together. And we join. Okay. Now, I'm going to decrease. We're going to make this a ball. So it's already curving in a little bit. So now I'm going to increase one. I'm going to do a chain, 1, 2, 3. Yarn over. I'm going to go ahead and go into my second hole. Now, let's see, hang on. Let me think about this. The chain always throws me off on these. I think you pull through all 3 on the first one. Yeah. Okay. The chain stitch is like a little bit wonky because oh no, maybe it's not. Hold on. I'm confusing myself. So I apologize, guys. All right. Oh, we just keep going. Okay, never mind. So let's do this. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull through the first 2, just like you normally would. Then you're going to yarn over, and instead of pulling through those, you're going to go into the next hole. So then you're going to pull through 2, and then pull through all 3. That's why I was confusing myself. So now I should have essentially 2. I have one kind of fat one, and then my chain stitch. That's why I was throwing myself off. Okay, so let's try that again. So we're going to start our double crochet like normal, go through the hole and pull it through. We're going to pull through the first 2 like we normally do, but instead of pulling through the next 2, we're going to go right into that next hole. Pull through the first 2 and then pull through all 3. So what's happening now is now I have 1, 2, 3 stitches. This looks like 2 posts, but they've only got 1 topper. So let's try that again. So this is decreasing. So go through the first hole, pull through the first 2, yarn over and go through the second hole. Pull through the first 2 and then pull through all 3 that are remaining. Okay? And that's what we're doing is we're decreasing by 1 as we go around. You know what I think I'm supposed to do? Hang on. We did 4. You guys, don't be too mad at me. We need to undo some of this. We only have to go back to that first one that we did because I think I'm supposed to just be going down to 3. So actually we have to go back. Start over with our chain stitch. We've got the chain stitch. Because remember we did 1, 2, 3, 4 together. So now we're going to do 1, 2 normally. Now 3 and 4 are going to be together. Oh, wonderful. I can't wait to look at it. I will check that out. So I've got 2. Now number 3 and 4 are going to be together. We're going to pull those down to 3. So this is where we go pull in, yarn over again, decrease by 1. All right. I've got it, y'all. So now we have 1, 2, 3 for every 4 stitches. So now we're going to do the next 2 normally. Sorry for confusion. I really am, because that was not cool. So I do the second one normally. The third one and the fourth one are going to be stitched together. So I don't do these next 2. I yarn over, go through 4, go through 2, go through 3, like that. Flex, we'll check that out at the end of the stream. We'll go and check out your artwork. Thank you for posting. We've got 1. We've got 2. And then 3 and 4 are going to be together. So we do 3, half of 3. We just finish half of it. And then we start on 4 and complete the set. 1. Crochet math can get a little bit confusing sometimes. So you just got to try to keep it straight in your head as best as you can. All right, so I am going into number 3 here. So I'm going to pull through. Oops. And of course the yarn is wonky too. That's not helping. That's not helping. All right. So these are a little bit harder to see, but you can usually tell, okay, these 2 are together, 2, these 2 are together. All right. So my next one should be by itself. The next one's by itself. This is number 2. And then 3 and 4 are together. Okay. Oops, I finished number 3. So I'm gonna go back and just redo it. Okay. Oh, and I went back too far, so we got to do number 2 again. Sorry. Sorry, ball. All right, so that's number 2. So we go into 3. Don't finish 3, go into 4. There we go. We're getting it. We're getting it. You know. So I've got 1, I've got 2. It helps to count. This is why crochet can be very meditative, because you kind of have to focus. I'm not going to finish 3. I'm going to move on to 4. Pull through all 3. So what I'm doing is decreasing by 1. So go into number 1 here. Number 2. And 3 and 4 are together. So I don't finish 3 and I move through 4. It's very hot in my house. My AC is not doing too well. I think it's just old, but it is very hot, like 30 degrees hot. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Got 1, 2, 3. All right. So this is number 1. This is number 2. Yeah, yuck is right. And because I live in Florida, it's very wet. So it's very humid as well. Not good, man. Not good. All right, so we've got our last 2. So number 3 and number 4. Yeah. Not a fan. I can't wait to move to somewhere cooler. That's why I'm already on the West Coast time zone, because ASAP I'm going to be moving to that area of the country. Okay, so now it's starting to curve in. All right, so let's do 1, 2, 3. So now on 2, we are going to... Anything over 22 is not for you? Yeah. I mean, I don't mind it being a little hot. Like, I actually can do, like, I don't know, like 27 or so is okay for me. I don't mind a little heat, but 28 maybe. But yeah. Once it starts getting into the very high 20s, it starts going downhill very, very quickly for me. It's like, well, I guess with cold, at least you can bundle up, put a sweater on, something, you know. Okay, so we've got our first one here. We're going to go into number 2. We're not going to finish number 2. We're going to go directly into number 3. Oh, you burn really easily. Yeah, that's not okay. Then yes, I can imagine you would not want to be outside in the very hot sun. No bueno. All right, so we have 1, and then we combined these 2. So we're going to go into the next one. Go ahead and finish that. That's number 1. And then number 2 will not get finished. Number 2 is going to move on to the 3rd. So got 1, finish that one. We've got 2, don't finish 2, we go into 3, and then we finish all of them together. 1, 2. I've got some gelato in the freezer. I have a feeling I'm gonna be I won't finish it because I usually can only have a couple bites. It's just very, very rich, but I will be having some probably after this. So, it's like a mint fudge gelato. Oh, excuse me. Oh, a yawn. Okay, so we did number 1. Now we're going to do number 2, half of number 2, number 3, and finish it off. Excuse me. Okay, number 1. Number 1 gets to be complete. Number 2 does not. Number 2 needs number 3 in his life. He's not complete without him. All right. So number 1 stands alone. Number 2 brings together number 3. I don't always give my crochet stitches personalities, but when I do, they're like spies. I don't know why. They're spies in my head. Read too many spy novels. Okay. So we're at the end now. We're going to go ahead and join. At the top. And now we're even closer. So look, you see the ball here. Okay? So this next one, all of them are going to be combined. So here's what we do. So do 1, 2, 3. Now, this only has 1 on it. So what we're going to do is go through the second hole there. Pull through, and we're going to go ahead and pull through 1, pull through 2, just like we normally would. But these are going to be 2 together. When we come around and join, we're going to join at the next crochet. Okay. Actually, you know what we could do? We could just chain 2. What? Because if we chain 2, that would make that one shorter. Let's try it. Let's try it and see what happens. Let's experiment. Yeah, I like that better. All right, so then that way it puts our full crochet at the top of the chain rather than it having 3 first. So just chain 2 on that one. Okay, so we're going to go into the next hole. Half complete it. Go to the next one. And finish. So now it's every single one is being married. So we've got that. Go into the next one. Only go through half. This is much easier than with single crochet. Let me assure you. Single crochet is a pain to decrease and increase, in my opinion. That is my opinion. I generally just like double crochet better, so I'm biased. I would pick double crochet over single any day. Any day. Single has its purposes, though. I mean, you can do some cool stuff with single crochet, for sure. All right, one more set to do, I believe. So we go into the next one. Two. Carry through all 3, and then we are going to go into that. It's still the 3rd crochet because we only chained 2. All right, now if you were going to stuff this ball, this is the point at which you would do it, when you still have a hole there. So we've got a nice little ball here. All right, so we are going to 1, 2, 3. We're going to do what we just did again. We're going to decrease by 2. Oh, and I didn't mean to do 3. Sorry. One less. One less. Okay. Go into your second one. Pull through both. All right. So number 1 here, we don't finish. Number 2, we do. They get harder to see. Okay, there we go. The farther down you get, they get harder to see. Oops. Okay. So we pull through the first one. Ooh. And then we get through the second one. Should be a total of 4 of these. We're reducing down to 4. So go through the first one. Half it. And go through the second one. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and join. And remember how when I showed you the first way of doing this, there were 4 stitches in it? This is it. This is the end of the line. So we're going to go into the top stitch here, pull closed, and that's it. That is it. So I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to pull through. And so if you had already stuffed it, you would have a ball. Now I did not stuff mine. So instead I just have this amorphous blob. But there you go. Now this might take some smoothing out at the top. But there you go. Okay, so that is decreasing and increasing. Now, I told you about the water balloon. First thing I want to show you is when you have, I'm going to show you a cool little trick. I'm going to show you how to butterfly. So I bought this yarn. It's called Bernat Baby Stripes. And I separated the colors. So it came in one long continuous string, but every so often it changed to a new color, which would give you stripes if you were making a blanket. But I wanted these to be their own balloons. So it's hard to tell, but these are actually 2 different colors. So what I do is I take the yarn, cut it, and then butterfly it. So it makes its own ball. So here's how you butterfly. So you're going to, this is how you can, if you have loose yarn, you can make it into a ball with just your hand. All right, so let this come down here in the middle. This is going to be what you pull from when you're getting new yarn, just like I'm pulling from the middle of this. All right, so it's going to hook around your pinky and then hook around your thumb. And this is all we do. You just do a figure 8 around your pinky and your thumb. And see how this is hanging down here? Pinky, thumb, pinky, thumb. And you're just figure 8ing all the way around. This is called the butterfly. Why? Because look, it's got 2 little wings. How about that? Now, this is kind of a hot mess here. I'm not going to spend a real long time trying to fix it. So, oops, I'm knocking my paint over. I need a little station instead of having everything on my desk. A little station that has like my paints in one drawer. My drawing stuff in the next drawer. You know, organization, that thing. Okay. Well, I'm not going to finish this because I'm not going to sit here and try to unravel. But basically what it ends up looking like, I will fix that later. It ends up looking like this. So this is my middle. So you just pull from the middle like that. Okay. So we are actually, for this one, I'm going to use, what size do I want to use? I'm going to use an L, which I want to say L is 8 millimeter. Sure is. L, 8 millimeter. Okay. I'm getting a lot better at but so we're using bigger yarn, so I'm going to use a bigger hook. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and make our slip knot. We're going to do the 4. Okay, so we'll make our slip knot. Do 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the main reason I'm doing 4 is because then I can trap this guy in here, which I do want to do, because it's just a little bit less work, even though the magic knot like looks a little nicer, but these are for kids to toss around in the yard, so I don't care if it looks super nice. I need it to be more functional. Okay, so I'm going to 1, 2, 3, because we're double crocheting. Go number 2 is going to be through the very center. I'm not trying to go through my stitches. 2, and I'm trapping the tail in there. 3. Whoops. Hold on. I'm starting 3 over again. I don't know what happened, but I lost some stuff there. Lost it. 4. Now, the Bernat, I like Bernat because it's got this like fuzzy feeling to it. It's baby blanket material. So it's nice for something like a water balloon because not only does it hold water really well because it's so thick, but, you know, it doesn't hurt the kiddos when they hit each other with them. I mean, I'm sure that kids could find a way to hurt you with them because, you know, kids are good at being cruel sometimes. But they're good at coming up with new ways of being cruel, I should say that. But generally, it doesn't hurt that bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. Like I said, it's about the same as a regular water balloon. Like, so a regular water balloon can sting a little bit if it hits you too hard, but it's not generally too bad. All right, so this got trapped in there, so I'm going to let that fall down into the center. And then I'm going to hook in there. So I have my 8 stitches. Now I'm going to double. 1, 2, 3. Go into that same hole, and I'm going to double to 16, sorry. 1, 2. I'll go into the next one and do 2. Get some slack there. All right. So now I'm on number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8. We're going to 16. Number 9. Number 10. I kind of got in the mode of decreasing, so now my brain wants me to decrease. But we will be doing that again soon, because to give it its balloon shape, we'll have to come back down. All right, getting close. 13, 14. Last 2. 15, 16. All right. I'm going to go ahead and cut this guy. See, that's how easy it is with the 4 count method. So the 4 count method, when you start, doesn't look as pretty. You've got that big hole there, but it's a little bit easier. So if you were making a whole bunch of these, then yeah, you would not want to be doing the magic knot and like individually, the magic circle and individually going in and weaving in your ends. That'd be a pain. 2, 3. And do a slip stitch, so pull through both. All right. So we're going to 1, 2, 3. Now we have 16 on here. So I'm going to go ahead and just do 1 double crochet in each of the stitches. So this is how we're going to make it a little bit more elongated comparatively to the circle that we did before, because the circle wasn't elongated at all. As soon as we got to the center point, we went ahead and started decreasing immediately. This time we want to give it a little bit of an elongated look. So we're going to do 2 rows of 16. So this one we're not doing any increasing. All we're doing is going around and putting 1 stitch for 1 stitch. This is much bulkier yarn. And of course it's very hot. Of course, I picked something hot for today. What's the highest temperature it gets in Nottingham? Like, does it get hot there? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hopefully not, for your sake. All right, I already lost count, so I'm going to have to go back and recount. He maybe stepped away. Maybe stepped away. Okay. Oh, there we go. Summer, ooh, 30. Ooh. 20 to 30. That's a pretty big range. I'm guessing that it's at night that it dips down. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Excellent. Ah, Schmuckleberry, hey, welcome. So we're doing a little bit of crochet here. Huh. What we're making right now, Schmuckleberry, if you're just joining, I'm showing how to make a crocheted water balloon using the techniques I just taught, which is how to increase and decrease. So this is using Bernat Baby Stripes yarn, which is a very fuzzy yarn, and it holds quite a bit of water. Okay, so we did 16. So now we're going to start decreasing, and we're going to decrease every 2 because we've only increased 1. Can drop to 15 or less in the summer. Oh, wow. Man, that is a pretty big fluctuation. 1, 2. So remember, we're just increasing by 2. I mean decreasing, sorry. My bad. I said increase, I meant decrease. We're going to go through the second hole, pull through the first 2, pull through the next 2. This yarn goes by very quickly because it's so fat. Okay, so we're decreasing. So we go through, we do half of 1, go through the next hole and do the rest of it. And pull through all 3 at the end there. Go through the next one, do half of 1. Pull through all of it. Schmuckleberry, where are you from? See, days at 30, we get about 20 a year-ish. That's not too bad. That's not too bad, right? I mean, 20. That's... we were discussing temperatures in places because I'm in Florida right now. Soon to not be, but it is very hot. Let me see, I'll tell you the exact temperature it is right now. 32 degrees. It is 32 degrees right now. It's so hot. And my AC is not working properly. So, I mean, there's some cool air coming out of it, but it's not great. It's not great. All right, almost done. I'm trying to get to 8. So let's see how many we have. I think I'm there. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, nope. I'm missing one. Okay. I think I accidentally skipped one. That's okay. You can kind of make it up. These are kids' water balloons. They're not meant to be like perfect. You know, the kiddos don't care. They just want to get out there and play. If it looks a little wonky, that's okay. All right, so I've got 8 now, so I'm going to join using a slip stitch. And then I'm going to do one more decrease. 1, 2, just 2. I'm going to pull these together. Oh, I think we lost somebody. Other than my stream tonight, this is probably one of my more meditative streams. Just because it's kind of nice to watch, I think, like I said. Now, out of a big thing of Bernat baby stripes, I think I can get probably about 24 to 30 balloons. Especially if you mix your colors, like you don't mind them being more than one color, because there's always a little bit extra. Okay, last bit here. Okay, now we're going to join. This is the fun bit. This is where we do single crochet. So we did our slip stitch there. Okay. It takes get some water. My water's cold though because I'm using one of those insulated things, but also because I have a water cooler that keeps it refrigerated. So that's very nice. All right, so now we're going to do single crochet. So we're just going to chain 1 here. Go into our first one. We're going to double it. So we're going to 8 single crochet. So 1, 2. That first stitch did not count as a stitch. That first chain stitch. That's just to be able to get some height. Hang on. Excuse me. Okay. So, oops. See, this is what happens when I've been double crocheting for a while. My brain wants to double crochet. So, we're going to do 1, 2. 1, 2. So we're going to 8. 1, 2. And this is going to look like the little bit at the bottom of the balloon. 1, 2, and we're just single crochet Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So we're going to join that in our first stitch here. Okay. All right. Now what we're going to do is we are going to cut a decently long tail. Maybe, let's see, that's about a foot. Okay. We are going to pull this all the way through and tighten it. Okay, so now we have this kind of amorphous shape here. We're going to, from about the middle where we started going back up, I'm going to stick my hook in and just pull this yarn through so that it's coming out of that little section there. Like that. Then all we're going to do is wrap it a few times. So you pull it tight, wrap it around, and I wrap it a good number of times. And then if you can, I'm using my smaller hook because it helps. I'm going to try to stick my hook underneath that wrapped center and pull the yarn through. Okay. Then I'm going to do that again, so it basically knots it. So I've got it. I'm going to grab it, and then I'm going to pull it through itself here. See, I kept a loop free. So all I did was I went under that tight loop that goes around the balloon, pulled the yarn through, but left a little loop on one side so that I can pull it through itself. Now all you have to do is I come somewhere down here in the balloon and go into the middle. You're going to come back up right next to where you knotted it and pull your yarn in to the middle. Then you cut it and pull your balloon tight. And what that does, come on now. Of course, it's not doing it because I'm trying to show you guys. But anyway, what that does is it hides it in the middle. So there, that string is still in there, but it's inside the middle. Oops. Sorry, I'm making all kinds of noise here. Let's throw that away. So there you go. There's your water balloon. So now I've got 2 water balloons, different colors. And like I said, you get these wet and throw them, and they are excellent. So I use Bernat baby yarn for that, the stripes, Bernat stripes. Okay, so that is everything I have for today. Now, there's a couple things we're going to do. First of all, I'm going to get a Kleenex because I just sneezed and I'm feeling a bit drippy. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. So first things, next week, we are going to be doing something called filet crochet. And filet crochet requires a little bit of planning. So what I've done is on my website, I'm going to bring this up. Hang on. I got to get my website going. On my website, I have let's see. Hold on. Let me just show you. You can actually get to it through my Discord, so let's just go there first. Oops. Well, never mind. Apparently you're going to see my website. If you are, if you go through the Discord, just go to the class calendar. So this is the class calendar. And you're going to go to next week, which says filet crochet. And you click on it. And then here, and that's a bit hard to see, but here it says graph paper is recommended and can be printed from here. So if you don't have graph paper, you can click on this and it should take you to some graph paper. Ta-da! So I put this on my site, and you can click on this and you can print it. I think it saves it as a PDF first. Let's just see what happens. Let's see. Yeah, it takes you to PDF, but you can print from here. You know, somewhere you can't see it. Hold on. Let me pull this over. See, there we go. See right here, there's the little printer. So, so yeah, you can save it or you can print it or whatever, but I would recommend having some graph paper for next week. And again, that is it's a link right here in the event itself. So like if you come to the event, you just click on it and it will take you to that. Okay. And again, you can get to that through my Discord by just clicking on the class calendar, which is one of the channels. Okay. You will need that, or you will need something like graph paper, because filet crochet is planned, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to actually be making a pattern by having some open spaces and some closed spaces, and it just requires graph paper for that. So I highly encourage you to get that. Of course, I've got my mindfulness streams tonight at 9, and Thursday night at 9 is restorative yoga. Tonight's guided meditation. And then Friday, I'll have my drawing. And this week we're doing rowboats. So we're going to do a drawing of a rowboat. And Saturday, we're going to be doing a painting of some mountains in a rowboat. It'll be watercolor. Now, let's go ahead and pull up my Discord, because Flux posted some artwork. And I want to see. Okay. So let's first Discord. Okay, here we go. So let's go to Art Crit. Oops, it would help if I was clicking on the correct thing. Ah, okay. Oh, you've done these while watching the stream partly. That is awesome. Okay, so let's take a look. So first, this is really cool. I like that you've added the color. Very, very much the robot-y plus organic shapes going on here. This right here, this calf muscle is kind of calling my name. I love what you did there. Like those kind of wavy stripes. That works very well. Good colors too. Good color choices. It's very primary, but at the same time, it's you used a lot of cool colors, but with just the red being warm. So that's nice. Because the yellow, despite being yellow, is actually very cool in this picture. I like it. Where do you get your ideas? Oh, wow. This is so detailed. Her illustrious queen, Emilia Detritus, presents the crown prince. Rubble. Ah. So you got stories for these too. So do you do, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to close that. Do you do, sorry, my brain just went, psh. Oh, like comics. Like do you have full storylines that go with these, where like there's continuous drawings that go along with it? Okay. Oh, restricted palette practice. That's good. Yeah, that's actually a really great for any other viewers that are watching that do art. Having a restricted palette where you only have 2 or 3 colors is actually really good for stretching. Basically stretching the imagination and making you take that farther. So that's good. You said no stories, just concepts. Man, this is really cool. Oops, I closed it again. Sorry. This is so detailed. Man, how long did something like this take you? This is really detailed. And then my follow-up question is, I've probably asked you this before, but do you come up with this in your head, or do you use some kind of model when you're making your shapes? Because your proportions all seem to be pretty great. On it for a week. Okay. Just comes out of your head. Well, that's pretty great. You have a good eye. Because proportions are hard. Ah, excellent. Flux. These are excellent. Hold on. I'm giving them. Where are my emojis? They've changed up the emojis. I don't have that many on my server. I need to add some more emojis. But you get some B positives. These are great. Thank you so much. Well, so that was an excellent treat for the end of our crochet stream. Thank you, Flux, for sharing your art. Wonderful as usual. You are an excellent artist. So I really enjoy looking at your work. So thank you for sharing. Also, thank you for joining me on the stream. And I hope everyone has a wonderful week. And I hope to see you my next art stream on Friday. Have a good week.